Hi there, welcome to another Friday Findings video. Today is our second question and answer video. I just want to say thank you to every one of you who's taken the time to make a comment or ask a question. I love all your sweet comments and I'm so happy to be able to help you as best I can with your questions. So today I have a few questions that I thought I would answer for you. So Arlene Keeler on the Naughty Knotted Bead Necklace tutorial asks, what cord or bead stringing wire is best for necklaces? Well, Arlene and everybody who's wondered that is a huge question because there really is no one answer. It depends. It depends on what it is you're stringing. And I have some examples to show you. This necklace is quite heavy. It's got a very heavy glass bead in the center. There's 7 strands of glass and metal beads. It weighs a fair amount. So when you choose a bead stringing wire for this, you should pick something a little bit heavier. Something like at least close to 0.5 millimeter, 0.46, some are 0.48 diameter is a pretty heavy cord, and that will be strong enough for necklaces with ceramic and glass and stone beads. But on the other hand, here's a necklace and with a lot of beads, but they're all pretty light and it doesn't have a ton of weight at all, so you could get away with a finer wire. So like I said, if you're choosing bead stringing wire, it just really depends. Also, if your wire is going to show in your project, I don't have much of this left, you can see that's a gold color, and so that's pretty to see as opposed to this one, which isn't particularly attractive unless that's the look you're going for. Or you can even buy them in lots of different colors, like here's black. You can buy them in a multitude of colors. So if your wire is going to be exposed at some point in your piece of jewelry, then you might want to consider a colored wire. And then there's all kinds of other cords that you can use. And it really depends, again, just on your beads. And here are a few. This pendant here is made with lightweight polymer clay, and I just have a 1 millimeter leather cord. It doesn't need anything super heavy duty to support it. These, however, are lampwork beads and pewter beads. So these are glass, and these have a bit of weight to them. But they have nice big holes. So I was actually able to string a rat tail cord through them, and that supports them just fine. And then, this necklace, which is an example in the Naughty Knotted Bead Necklace, I just used wax linen twine. So it really does depend. Consider the size of your bead holes, the types of beads you have, whether the wire is going to be exposed, how much weight the beads have, to choose your cord or bead stringing wire. The next question is from Cindy Crafter, and she says, I wanted to know if I can make a request for a project, or at least get some advice. I have a bunch of half beads with a flat back and a subtle hole that doesn't go through. I honestly don't know their name to do more research on them, and I don't really know how I can use them. Could you please give me any tips? Well, I think probably what you have is called a cabochon, C-A-B-O-C-H-O-N. And if it's truly half a bead, which it could be if it looks like it had a hole going through it, you can still use them just like people do cabochons. These two pieces each have half of a glass lampwork bead that I made once upon a time that when I was new to lampworking, I let it cool too quickly and it cracked. And so I have 2 halves. And I just incorporated it into a little pendant and used some clay to cover up the ends of the bead holes. If you look online, you'll see a lot of folks use seed beads and make absolutely amazing designs using cabochons. So that's what I would suggest you look for. There's lots of designs out there. The next question comes from Kimberly Beeler on the Spring Greens dangle earrings. And Kim says, hi, I love watching your videos. Thank you, Kimberly. I do have a question. The head pins I have are very hard to use. I'm no longer sure what wire they are. What do you use so I can avoid the frustration I'm experiencing now? I've cracked a lot of beads with these. Well, Kimberly, head pins that you purchase are really just pieces of wire. That's all they are. They're wire with a little decorative element on one end, or they're wire that's been balled up, or often they have a flat bit at the end. It's not decorative at all. And just like wire, head pins will come in different gauges. You can see that these two are obviously much thicker than these two. These, I believe, are a 22 gauge, and these are a 24 gauge, or possibly 26 gauge. And just like wire, it comes in different hardnesses. Ideally, wire for head pins or eye pins should be either dead soft or half hard. It shouldn't be full hard, because you're not going to be able to manipulate it. Perhaps you could manage to make simple loops, but you wouldn't be able to do nice, neat, wrapped loops. So the difficult thing with buying inexpensive head pins in the craft store is that you don't always know what you're getting. And my suggestion is to buy the best quality you can afford, and if you find a brand that you're happy with, make a note of it and stick with them. In my opinion, life is too short to deal with cheap materials that give you so much grief. You can just pay a few pennies more and get something that's much easier to manage. And the last question for today is from Elizran on Beading 101 Bead Stringing Basics. She says, nice job. Thank you, Elizran. Which brand do you use for crimp beads, and do you buy silver? And also, what size jump rings do you work with? I often actually do use the crimps that I find at the craft store, and I've found that they work really well for the most part. I am trending towards just purchasing sterling silver crimps for my jewelry, as they squish really nicely, they hold well, and you figure for a few pennies more, this little tiny thing is what's holding your whole piece of jewelry together. So I like to get mine at Fire Mountain Gems and just get the sterling silver crimps. But if I run out, I don't have a problem using the ones I find at the craft store. I haven't had problems with them. And as far as jump rings go, my answer is kind of the same as for the necklace cord. It depends. I use whatever seems most appropriate for the project. The important thing to keep in mind about jump rings is that the wire gauge needs to be in proportion to the size of the jump ring. Here are two 10mm jump rings. I don't usually use them that big. But if I needed a 10mm jump ring, I would definitely go with this one rather than this one. I mean, this one just looks weak and flimsy and not very much in proportion to the size of the ring. But most often I use 5 or 6mm jump rings. And again, when I have a choice, I like to buy nice quality ones. Like these are some antique gold-plated ones from Fire Mountain Gems. No, they don't sponsor me. I wish they did. These are, they have kind of a decorative twist to them, and they're pretty. And I will use these. And here's just a package from the craft store. Again, different sizes and gauges. You can see as they get smaller, the gauge goes down a little. Obviously, one that is, this big wouldn't need to be that thick around. It would just... It's all about being proportionate. One thing I've kind of fallen in love with lately are these oval jump rings, and I find them at my craft store. They usually come in a package with all 3 sizes, and what I love about these is that if you have something hanging from them, it's naturally going to turn so that the short ends will be at the top and the bottom, and the split is here in the middle. So you have much less chance of losing anything through your jump ring. So those are some answers to a few of your questions. I hope you found them helpful. If you liked this video, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you'll see more like it. Up on the screen are a couple more jewelry making videos you might enjoy. Thanks so much for watching. Happy creating. Bye-bye.